today. David here with you, talking about improving your health, wellness, and fitness by working on your body, mind, and spirit, balancing the triad. So let's kind of get into it. I learned recently about a friend, and I realized he's dieting. Which, hey, if you're on a diet, that's fine. It's no big deal. Diet can have incredible benefits for you. You can work it. However, for him, my question would be, are you dieting again? Because I don't know how many times he's been on diets over the last several years. It seems like every 6 to 8 months or something like that, him and his wife, more so to do with his wife and him, are on some type of diet. So my question for you is, if you're on a dieting again, how many diets have you been on over the last several years? What's the reason you keep doing them? Did they work? And if so, why'd you have to go on it again? So if you've been on 5 different diets, what's different about this one here? All right. Sorry, still fumbling through this one here. And yes, a different coffee cup. That's not Star Wars. This one's Alaska. But the idea is diets can work, but usually they're limited because for most people, they're too strict. They can work for a short period of time, but then after that, they kind of go off and they can be very difficult to do. You've heard me mention many times before, I have for my training program, Institute of Transformational Nutrition, which is where I became a certified transformational nutrition coach from. One of the handouts we got, it covers 150 diets, pros and cons of each one. And probably the cons to majority of them is that they're just too strict. And it's interesting with diet, you've heard me talk about this before as well, is I heard it first from Eric Amidius, I can pronounce his last name right, is if you think about the diet of a horse, a giraffe, an elephant, a tiger, a whale, any of those, diet is what they eat. When it comes to humans, a diet is something we do on short term, usually to lose weight. It's not just what we eat. So different aspect when it comes to us. Can you imagine seeing a horse out there going, saying, okay, I don't know if I need to eat this type of grain or this type of hay or this type of oats over here. I don't know. I need to work more, watch my figure. Or an elephant doing the same thing. It doesn't happen. Diet is simply what they eat. For humans, it means losing weight. So, all right. So I think you got the ideas. Most time diets can work as long as you work them. But most, probably 90% of diets plus, 90+% of diets are only for short term. So how about an alternative? How about simply just a way of eating? I know, bombshell there, real shocker. Well, that might be the best way to go, because then you're not going on a diet, lose the weight, lose inches, and then you turn around and go off it, you gain it back, and sometimes usually more so. And then you go on another diet. That's what's referred to as yo-yo dieting, is you can go through and go on a diet, lose the weight. So you lose the weight, then you go back to eating normal, you gain it back. Sometimes more than what you had. Go on a diet, lose the weight, come back up, you go back and forth. Now, one aspect too, especially if you reduce your calorie intake. For a long period of time, you start reducing your calorie intake. Short-term fasting is okay, but if you reduce your calorie intake over a period of time, that means your metabolism is how your body burns calories, slows down because you're not getting enough energy for it. So, so what that basically means is, say right here, this is how the level you burn calories normally. So you go on a low-calorie diet, which means you reduce the number of calories coming in. Therefore, your metabolism slows down. So it's burning calories down at this rate. But what happens then is that you start eating normal. You go off the diet. Now remember, up here was normal. This is how much you're burning calories to maintain where you're at. When we slowed it down here, you start eating it normally. You're taking the amount of food intake you would up here, but it's down here. So therefore, you gain the weight you just had and then some back. Now, by exercising, eating healthy, staying in movement, you can actually raise your metabolism. But overall, start going with lifetime eating habits. Focus on your nutrition. Don't worry about a diet. You can if you want to. I mean, there are times you want to go through and actually lose a little extra pounds. But realize what's going to happen once you go off that program. That's why I don't really care for some of the different programs that are out there that you can go through, because some of them you got to pay for your meals. That doesn't teach you anything about what you're going to do on your own once you stop paying for that service. Or one, you have to do your points. Well, that doesn't work too well if you happen to be in a situation and you take a not so great meal. Now all your points are done for the day. To me, that doesn't make sense. Let's instead teach you about eating healthy and start, as we talked about yesterday's video, was with the basics. Start with the basics. Drink more water than you do soft drinks or alcohol, and even fruit juices. Fruit juices are very high in sugar. Go through and start cutting out the processed foods. Cut out a lot of the sweet treats. Go with stuff you already know about. Especially when you're just starting out, don't worry about the macronutrients. Don't worry about, okay, am I getting too much fat? Am I getting too much carbohydrates? Am I getting this here? When you're starting out, don't worry about that. Just make some better choices. More water instead of, again, soft drinks, alcohol, put those to the side, more water. Sweet treats, watch your portion sizes, watch how much you eat, and read those labels because you might be surprised at how much a portion size actually is. The one I always bring up, Ben and Jerry's pint ice cream, which isn't a healthy treat for you in the slightest, but you realize that's usually 4 servings, which means one of those pints usually has over 1,000 calories for most of them. Read the serving sizes, pay attention to what you're eating. Just start simple. Don't worry about a diet. Just start paying attention and eating better choices. Watch your bread intake because some people doesn't agree with them too well. I'm not even going to go to the gluten. I'm not even going to go there right now. Watch your bread intake. Watch the sugary treats, the high calorie stuff. Eat more real foods. Eat more protein. Protein is denser, so it's going to make you satisfied more. But start there. Don't worry about going on. Hey, again, certain times for diets, they're okay. But for most people, don't do them. Just make better healthier food choices. Start small, start with the basics and go from there. And that way there is no going off a diet and gain all that weight back. That's just the way you eat. You can still have your sweet treats, just not as much. You can still have your pizza. You can still have the cookies, the donuts, but just in smaller quantities. And when you do it enough, when you start building those things up, it's going to be happening. You're not going to think about those. Like, okay, I don't know if I got a donut, what's that going to do to me? You're not going to think about it. You have a donut because you want one. You're okay with that. But overall, you're eating healthy, you're being physically active, and you're going to be fine. Start simple. Don't worry about the diets. Just simple eating. And if you want some help to start getting you thinking about the process, now, because part of it is you want to make sure what's the reason you want it and going to keep driving you forward, is in the link. I always end up doing that. In the description, there's a link to my Facebook where we got different trainings in there. Health and Wellness Your Way. What is it you want? I can ask you a variety of questions so you can start narrowing down what does it want, what's the reason you want, how are you going to get there, where are you at, where you want to go, obstacles. Other stuff in there is 10 minutes of activity challenge, 5 minutes of quiet time experience, 100 push-up challenge, which right now I'm almost finishing up doing 100 push-ups a day, and push-ups can be adjusted to where you're at. You don't have to do full military-style push-ups on the ground. You can do them against the wall. So a variety of things to get you started. So the link to that is in the description. All right, I think I've rambled enough for the day. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Take care, and we'll catch you tomorrow. So balancing to you. Bye-bye.